All right, here we go with your weather forecast, and today is Saturday. Hope everybody's having a great day today as we talk about that weekend for this holiday weekend. We have our Columbus Day on Monday or Indigenous Peoples Day, whichever way you look at it. So let's get going with that weather forecast, and this is Elite Weather. My name is Mr. G, also known as Julie Godot. We're going to be talking about our weather forecast coming up here. And as we get going, here's your weather today. And we're going to talk about that weather today and what's going on out there as we saw a very strong cold front move through earlier in the week, a couple days ago, and it's still moving to the east there across the eastern half of the nation, and it is spreading a lot of colder air. So we've been seeing those warm temperatures come down for just a day or so. We're going to be seeing that as that guy moves to the east there. Here's our local and our live radar right now. As you can see, it's pretty quiet across much of the nation. We do have a few showers right here through portions of southern Canada and the Great Lakes here and into the Midwest and the Appalachian mountain ranges. There is a few showers in this region, and we also have a few showers and thunderstorms here across the Four Corner states into New Mexico. We're going to definitely see some of those start to build up as we get into the afternoon hours. It's still pretty early in the day, so some of those guys are just getting started out there, as we do have a frontal boundary in the area as well, and an area of low pressure there just across the Mexican border. And so that's going to be helping to spark some of that moisture down there and get some of those thunderstorms going. And here we go as we take a look at our satellite image. There we are with those clouds there across the southwest and then through the Four Corner states. That's going to be leading to some of those thunderstorms in the afternoon here. And here is our other front on the east coast and down along the Gulf Coast. And there's that, you see this gray here, that's indicative of that cold air that's coming down out of Canada. So we have some low stratus clouds in this area that we're going to be seeing some spotty showers as well. And here we are as we take a look at our rain and snow forecast for today in the next 48 hours. And here's where we're going to see predominantly most of the rainfall across the nation is down here around New Mexico and West Texas. So we're going to be seeing a few showers and thunderstorms, not a whole lot of rain down across that region. And down here in Florida, we could also see some showers and some thunderstorms on that as that front comes on through. So we're going to be seeing a few showers and storms down across the South Florida down there. So we're not really seeing a whole lot of precipitation. To be honest, there's not a whole lot going on in the weather right now, so it's not that exciting. But the only really big news is the cooler temperatures across the eastern half of the nation, which we will be exploring here as we move through this broadcast there. So here we are as we take a look at our current temperatures across America right now. And we're looking at those 40s across the northern tier of the nation and into the Great Lakes here and across the northern plains. As it's only about the noon hour right now, so we're looking at those temperatures in the 40s, and we're seeing those 40s along the interior of the Northeast. But it's a little bit warmer along the Gulf Coast, along the East Coast here, because we have the Gulf breeze current and that warmer air coming up from the south. So we're seeing those temperatures in the 50s still along the coast, as we're going to warm up toward the 70s later today in the 60s. But we're starting to see it get a little bit warmer as we go to the south. 74 down here in Savannah, Georgia, 80 in Jacksonville. So we're seeing our current temperatures starting to warm up along the Gulf Coast. Where they're still south of the front, as that front is making its way down across that region. And we're seeing it starting to warm up out west as well, as we have those 70s down across the southwestern U.S. Pretty cool across the northwest, so we're seeing a lot of coolness in the morning, so very fall, crisp mornings there we have across the northern half of the nation, and that will spread south as we move through the next couple of days. So here we are as we take a look at our watches and hazard, as we've been talking about that colder air. And we have a lot of cold air advisories in place, so frost warnings, freeze watches as well. Those dark purples are for freeze watches, so that means we're seeing over those overnight lows and early morning temperatures below 32 degrees. So we're seeing freezes, and we're having some frost advisories in place into the northeast as we're seeing very cool mornings out there. So if you're parking your car outside, don't be surprised if you have to scrape your windshield a little bit, because we are having some frost out there in the morning hours over the next several days. Here we are as we take a look at your severe weather forecast, and not a whole lot of severe weather that we're going to be worrying about. We have our thunderstorm forecast for today. It's primarily going to be down here across the four corners. So we're going to see thunderstorms across Arizona and New Mexico, as we have some of that monsoonal moisture coming up out of Mexico, and a weak area of low pressure and our old frontal boundary right in this region. So that's going to be enough to combine and create some thunderstorms across the southwest. Here we are as we take a look at your severe weather alerts. There are currently no severe weather alerts, and we have our severe watches, no severe watches as well. So very quiet period of time here across the United States as far as the weather is concerned. And here we are as we take a look at any lightning strikes. No lightning strikes on the map just yet as well. So here we are as we take a look. So very easy severe weather outlook there. Here we are as we talk about our tropical outlook. We do have one tropical storm that we're going to talk about, and it is Tropical Storm Julia down across the southern Caribbean, taking aim at Central America. And here we are. One of the things that I want to talk about is the retired eye hurricanes. We've seemed to have had a lot of hurricanes hit the U.S. with the letter I, and they've always been, usually seem to be pretty significant hurricanes. And these are all the retired eye hurricanes that we've seen in the Atlantic side. And when this is, we all can remember, we're going to take a look at this. Remember Hurricane Ida back in 21. We all remember Ike. We remember Ike was all in the news back in 08. Ingrid, but that one hit down across Mexico and southern Texas. So Ike, Ida, Ivan was pretty big in the news. I remember Ivan. I remember Irene. So those at least Irene, Ivan, Ida, Ike. I definitely remember those for at least because they affected the United States directly there. They were all in the news as pretty strong hurricanes. So since 2001, these are all the eye hurricanes that have been retired, meaning they were major hurricanes that will not be used ever again. So those names are going to be retired. And the reason this is important because I think that Hurricane Ian most definitely will be retired. It hasn't been there yet, but it will. And there's no doubt in my mind that Hurricane Ian will join this list of hurricanes with the letter I to be retired since 2001. Here we are as we take a look at the satellite image right now, and I'm standing over what I want you guys to see. We have Tropical Storm Julia down here across the southern Caribbean, just to the west, to the east of the Yucatan Peninsula down here, and we're seeing that tropical storm going out there, headed toward the west, headed towards Nicaragua right now. And here we are as we talk about its path. And this is the path that our tropical storm is going to take, and it's going to be moving due west here towards Nicaragua, where it's going to spread some wind and heavy rain. So a lot of mountains and stuff down here. So we're going to see some mudslides and a lot of flash flooding, of course. And there is a chance that this tropical storm is going to hold together as it moves across the Central America. If it moves across Nicaragua, it's going to come out on the Pacific side, so we could see maybe it hang on as a tropical storm as it moves across, depending on its forward progression there, how fast it moves to the west and comes out into the Pacific. But we're going to be seeing our storm here strengthen to a weak hurricane. So we're thinking maybe Category 1 hurricane at best that is going to strengthen to before it makes landfall, and it's also going to have flash flooding and mudslides is going to be possible, and there is that chance that it's going to emerge and hang on as a tropical storm and emerge in the Pacific. Maybe we can see some redevelopment or re-strengthening as it enters the Pacific, and then we'll have to see where it goes from there. All right, and here we are as we take a look. The only thing of interest down there is Tropical Storm Julia right now. The rest of the Atlantic is pretty quiet. So there's nothing here that the National Weather Service deems worthy of watching or mentioning right now. There's no, as we saw on the satellite, there's nothing, just some clouds out here. There's no organized thunderstorm clusters or anything like that. So a relatively quiet period here across the Atlantic and Pacific. This is actually Julia, and the forecasters are considering this to be the next item that's going to move into the Pacific. So this is actually Tropical Storm Julia, and they're having it prod to come into the Pacific down right in this region, and they're having it with only a 10% chance of development as it moves, because it's going to weaken as it moves across the land, probably come back over as a tropical depression. So we see a 10% chance that it's going to re-strengthen when it enters the Pacific. So that's why that guy is there. All right, here's your forecast analysis. And with our forecast analysis, here's our big front that extends all the way from Canada all the way down the East Coast, down across the state of Florida and into the Gulf of Mexico here, right along the Gulf Coast of the U.S. and out into Texas, and then it curves back around into the Four Corner states, which is one of the reasons why we're going to be seeing those thunderstorms across the Southwest, because we have this front, and there's also a weak area of low pressure right there as well. So this front is relatively dry. I'm not seeing a whole lot of precipitation along this front, but one thing it is doing, it is cooling down those temperatures. So there is our front today. We have a lot of high pressure over the central U.S. that's be moving to the east. So we're going to be seeing cooler weather across the northern tier of the nation down to the east coast, because we're going to be getting that southwest, that northeasterly flow. So cooler air is being funneled in out of Canada and then pushed to the south. But as it goes down to the south, we get some compression or heating, and it's going to warm back up again. And that air coming around the backside of that high, we have that return flow, and we're going to be seeing things kind of warm up along the west coast. So it's going to be pretty warm out west. Those temperatures are going to be in the 70s and 80s, and maybe some 90s over the interior of the Pacific Northwest and Northern Rockies, and through the state of Nevada and into Southern California, where we're going to develop an offshore flow, maybe the Santa Ana winds, and might be seeing temperatures approaching 90 degrees down here in the Southwest. So we have that going on with our surface map right now. And let's take a look at our temperature anomaly. And our temperatures with the European model, we have, this is our cooler air here across the East Coast. And as you see, that cooler air is dropping all the way down to the Gulf Coast. So we're seeing things drop to even below normal across the eastern half of the U.S. here. And this is through the weekend. So from today into your day on Tuesday, we're going to be seeing that cooler air on the East Coast, but we're going to be seeing things warm up on the west, and we're going to see it start to moderate and warm up in the Midwest as well. Look at the center of the nation. You can see that temperature anomaly. So we're going to start to head back above average for a few days. We're going to even still see some 70s in Minnesota as we move through and deeper into the month of October. This is really when you start to see those 30s and 40s for highs. And you get that up and down. So we're going to be entering a period of a roller coaster as far as the temperatures. We're going to warm up a little bit. Those cold shots warm spells, cold shots. It's going to be a back and forth roller coaster, especially across the Great Lakes and into the Northeast. And the Midwest, especially, is going to be prone a lot of. All right, I'm not sure what's going on here. I'm hearing some beeping going on. So all right, I'm not sure what the beeping is all about. And I guess we're still live here. All right, am I still? Oh, I see it. So it's giving me notifications down here. Okay, so the people have been watching. So I guess it beeps. All right, so we're gonna keep moving here. And here we are as we take a look in, and something is going on. Give me 1 second here. Apparently, OBS keeps dropping the stream. Crappy. Don't use Wi-Fi for this. This is probably I'm using Wi-Fi because my box is way in another room. Because there's only one cable box, one cable connector in this room, in this place. So, all right. So here we are as we take a look at our weather forecast. Here are our for our rainfall total here. This is what we're going to be seeing through the course of the weekend. So we have a little bit of rain that we're going to be seeing down here across the four corners. This is actually going to be the wet place of the nation for the weekend. It's down here across New Mexico, Arizona, and West Texas. So we're going to be seeing up to about half an inch of rain in some of these areas across the four corners. It may be a little bit of rain across northwestern Minnesota this weekend as well, and a few areas in the northeast might pick up some very light rainfall, a tenth of an inch or less to trace amount. So very light rain potential in the northeast, and down here across South Florida, a little bit of rain potential. Our upper air pattern is showing that we're seeing that high pressure starting to build in from the west. We have that troughing in the east and the northeast, but then that's going to be replaced by ridging. So we're going to see ridging. So that means that temperatures will warm up across the nation's midsection and over into the Great Lakes, especially as we move into like Tuesday and Wednesday of next week. We're going to see those temperatures in the 60s and into the 70s as well. So we're seeing that nice ridging starting to move in. This is a transient ridge, so we're not seeing any significant blocking. And you do see these areas of energy dropping down. So we have these weak areas of low pressure that might spread a little bit of rainfall across the northern tier of the nation, the Great Lakes, and into the northeast over this of the holiday weekend as well. So that is a look at our upper air pattern. And we do have that cutoff low on this down here along the southwest, and that's why we're seeing those showers and thunderstorms over New Mexico and Arizona, because we do have a cutoff low, and there's forecast to be a second cutoff low developing across the southwest as we head into next week as well. All right, so here's your weather forecast for the next 3 days. As we look at this afternoon's forecast with the forecast and temperatures combined here, and you can find your city. I'm going to step off of the camera here so you can see the map and take a look and look for your area. All right, that was a look at your weekend weather forecast. My name is Mr. G with this impromptu broadcast here. And as you can see, kind of boring in the weather department right now. I debated on whether I was going to even do this as a live. I could have just recorded a regular video, but I want to get that video time in. So again, very quiet period for this weekend through your holiday on Monday. Cooler on the East Coast and down in the southeast, so we'll see those temperatures come down for a few days. They will warm back up early next week, but at least this weekend, if you're over the East Coast from the Great Lakes down the Midwest, the Southeast, the Appalachian mountain range, the Gulf Coast, you're going to see a little bit of a cool down in those temperatures. My name is Mr. G. Thanks for watching. I will see you guys all in the next video, and I hope OBS didn't drop the stream too many times. See you guys all later. Maybe we'll have a forecast on Monday to do for your Tuesday. Get you ready for your work week ahead. You have a short week next week, 4-day work week. We'll have a forecast to get you ready for that. And that's all I have to say for now, guys. Have a good day. Bye-bye.